Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. Today, a very strange story. It's been rumbling along. Well, the story of the Beckham family feud has been rumbling along in past days and weeks, and of how Brooklyn Beckham didn't show up at any of the family events to celebrate his father's 50th birthday, mostly because his wife, Nicola, wouldn't let him. Today, we hear that the Sussexes are secretly supporting Brooklyn Beckham and his wife and Nicola through the family feud, that they invited the younger couple to dinner at their home in Montecito recently, and this allowed the two women, or at this dinner, the two women sat down for a chat and discovered that they had lots of common ground over being declared to be home wreckers, basically. So lots in common, Meghan Markle and Nicola, which they unpacked and mutually acknowledged, and a sort of a shared, it sounds like a sympathy session. Interestingly, this dinner party and this closeness between the two couples and the secret support has been walked back just in the last few hours. And we're now hearing from Sussex insiders that Brooklyn, yes, that's right, Brooklyn Beckham and his wife were not directly invited to the dinner by the Sussexes. It was an industry get-together, allegedly, and they were invited along by mutual friends or something like that. And so that's interesting in itself, that the Sussexes have now seen fit to distance themselves a bit from Brooklyn Beckham and his lovely wife. But also there has been speculation that there might be some sort of brand collaboration between Meghan Markle and Nicola. Nicola, of course, got tons of money at her disposal. Meghan Markle, of course, got tons of contacts at her disposal and royal adjacency. I'm a duchess, don't you know? It's Meghan Sussex now. Interesting also was an article that Amanda Platel wrote in the Daily Mail a couple of days ago. It was a truly scathing article about how Nicola has followed the Meghan Markle playbook, basically, on how to snare the idiot son of a famous family and separate the idiot. Basically, the playbook is separate the idiot from his family and then monetize the marriage on the back of the idiot's fame. So Harry, of course, the idiot in Meghan Markle's case, and Brooklyn Beckham, the idiot in Nicola Peltz's case. And so all rather interesting. Amanda Platel concludes that this falling out and this isolation, alienation of a darling son is what you get when your dim-witted son marries an ambitious, I'm quoting, by the way, from Amanda Platel's article, when your dim-witted son marries an ambitious, social climbing viper. Ouch. So, Rebel Heart Tarot on the table for this one. We're going to look at the two women in question, Meghan Markle and Nicola. No point looking at Harry and Brooklyn. They are just casualties in this, the dim-witted sons who are at the mercy of these extremely, in my opinion, narcissistic and manipulative women who have managed to isolate them, who have their eyes on the main prize, which is fame. Not so much fortune in Nicola Peltz's situation, but she wants attention, she wants notice, she wants to be elevated in social circles, just like Meghan Markle. So lots in common. We're going to see what's going on. We're going to see who leaked this dinner party story in the first place to the press, and then why is it being walked back. We're going to ask about both women, what they think about the other woman and what they want from them. And then we're going to ask if there's going to be some sort of beauty or fashion collaboration and how will it do. And then we're going to ask just generally, how is this supportive relationship, friendship going to go? First of all for the Sussexes and then for the Beckhams. Is it going to enhance their standing in the social circles, or is it going to diminish their standing? A dangerous game that they are playing, I think, both parties, because the Beckhams are very popular. very influential, riding quite a high at the moment, a wave of success with their Netflix show, and Victoria's got her own show, and you know, they're popular. And we can't say that Harry and Meghan are. We've just seen the YouGov polls come out even more unpopular than they have been previously. So as I say, dangerous game possibly for both couples. We're going to see what's going on. We have to remind you, it is just tarot, and it is all for fun and entertainment, and it is all, of course, my opinion and all speculation, and we just read energy here. And of course, there is a disclaimer in the box below. We're going to see what's going on between Meghan Markle and her younger, possibly a sort of copycat in a way, almost. I'm not saying she has directly copied, but very similar, energetically, allegedly. What's going on between them? Page of Cups. That's a show of sympathy and support. Not secret because it's upright. In reverse, it would be possibly a secretive kind of connection. This is not secret at all because we've all been told about it. Headlines screaming on the Daily Mail. So there it is, Page of Cups, loyalty, support, compassion. The articles that we've read, and there have been numerous, have been full of sort of glowing how kind Harry and Meghan were, and how understanding and supportive of the younger couple, and you know, they've been there and they know, and all of this kind of a stuff. That's Page of Cups. So interesting to see what Meghan in particular wants out of this situation, because some people are saying there's an elderly father in the mix who's a billionaire, and we know how Megsy loves a billionaire, especially an elderly one, allegedly. Let's have a look at the actual situation we're dealing with today. 9 of Cups in reverse. This is neither of them really achieving their goals. Wish fulfillment when it's upright in reverse, not getting your little heart's desire. And I think that even though Meghan and her younger incarnation are both quite manipulative, quite strategic, quite narcissistic, allegedly, it hasn't exactly worked out necessarily the way they wanted. They've got loads of attention, but they certainly haven't got loads of popularity. I don't know how important that is in Nicola Peltz's world, but certainly in Meghan Markle's world, she was going to be Diana too. She wanted that. Hasn't quite achieved it. I can't also think it's a very satisfying experience to be married to the dim-witted son of a celebrity couple or royal family. In Harry's case, it can't be very emotionally satisfying, which is why we have the 9 of Wands in reverse, but also 9 of Cups, I beg your pardon, but also the 9 of Cups in reverse tells of a certain level of indulgence and being spoilt and brattish, and in it only for one's own pleasure and reward, and to hell with everyone else and their feelings. So there's quite a lot going on in that card, and quite a lot going on because that is the heart of the reading and what we're actually looking at. So let's have a look first of all at who possibly leaked the story of this dinner to the press. Who might have done this? There might be a why in this question as well. We've got the 9 of Swords in reverse. This is somebody who's going through a very difficult time, somebody who's really stressed, really anxious, really worried. I don't get Nicola Peltz's energy in that at all. I don't think that she's going through a stressful time. I think she's achieved exactly what she wanted to achieve. Headline news, alienated her younger husband, her gormless, sort of dim-witted husband, from his family, his very close family. She's got what she wanted. I think that's more Meghan's energy. I'm speculating, of course, but somebody who's very stressed, who's very worried, who's been going through some difficult times. And for sure, Meghan's 2025 has been catastrophic from just about the very first day. It's just been disaster after disaster, and so she might have thought, well, I can look better somehow, I can look sympathetic if I'm seen to be supporting this young woman who's been accused of being a homewrecker by nasty cows like Amanda Platel. But then, of course, it's been walked back, this dinner party, and oh no, Harry and Meghan didn't directly invite Brooklyn and Nicola Peltz. Someone else did, to this industry dinner. It wasn't an intimate couples kind of a dinner party where they could sit and lament together. So why the walking back of the story very suddenly today? Of course, it's been getting very negative press. Three of Wands is an interesting card because it's the waiting card, the hope and expectation card. Some sense of someone thinking that there's some benefit to be gained possibly from this association, that if they're just patient, if they play their hand right, they might win big with this. It's waiting, but it's waiting in a very optimistic, kind of almost excited energy. I think that if there is a deal in the making, then the deal depends to some extent on silence and discretion, and leaking this dinner party might have been a bit premature and might have almost endangered whatever deal is in the mix there. Possibly the deal in the mix is to do with those industry types who were at the dinner party. Yes, I know, Netflix and whoever else, Paramount seems to be loom large in Harry and Meghan's lives as well. There's something going on. And leaking about the dinner party out of a state of high anxiety and wanting to seem friendly and sweet and kind might have backfired, might have made people skittish, because of course, who's less popular right now? Nicola Peltz or Meghan Markle? It's quite difficult to decide. Both are seen very negatively right now, at least in the press and the comments section under the press articles. So let's look at Meghan first. How does she view Nicola Peltz? What does she think of her? We've got the 8 of Pentacles and it's in reverse. That's a money card. It's a big money card, but it's in reverse. When you have the 8 of Pentacles upright, you're working for that money. You're working really hard. And we know that Meghan thinks that she herself is working really hard to earn her money, because she keeps telling us that on her podcast. In reverse, born with a silver spoon in your mouth. I think she looks at Nicola Peltz and thinks, how did she get to be born as the darlingest, babyest daughter of a billionaire, whereas Meghan Markle had to deal with the Markle family and Thomas and all of the bankruptcies and the whatever else that happened in that particular family. So I think she's quite envious of Nicola Peltz's wealth. And what does she want from this association? We're speculating, of course, reading tarot cards. Wow, the world. She wants it all. She wants everything that Nicola Peltz can offer. And I'm going to include connection to daddy in that card. That's the pinnacle of attainment as far as Meghan is concerned. She's rubbing her hands in glee, in my opinion, at having access to this particular level of this family, this level of wealth, this possibly seeing a similarity, a similar energy in the younger woman, and that this can be taken advantage of. But it's success, it's everything she ever dreamed of. We've got the wish fulfillment card in reverse as our heart of the reading. Meghan hasn't achieved her goals yet. She hasn't got what her little heart desired, her little black heart, in my opinion. But there it is, the potential for it. And it's a horned creature that's standing on top of this. Can't think of the word. It's got a proper name where you stick a statue on top of it. But anyway, there it is. Everything that it is on offer, and Meghan wants it all. The money, the access, the connections, the whatever you can list there. Fill in the gaps yourselves. Let's look at Nicola Peltz. So how does she view Meghan Markle? What does she think of her? Got the 5 of Cups in reverse, so she feels sorry for her. She's heard Meghan Markle's version of events, the woe is me. I just went with the best intentions into the royal family, and they were so cruel and so racist and so cold and didn't hug me and bullied me out because they were jealous because I was so much prettier and cleverer and more accomplished and more ambitious and more efficient and a better public speaker and blah, 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 blah. She's buying it. She's buying the story of the great woe sobbing on the floor, possibly the offing self kind of narrative, and the freedom flight and all that rot. And there are still people who buy into that whole thing for whatever reason. I think, given the energy of these cards, in my opinion, Nicola Peltz has fallen for that story. I think poor darling Meghan, a sensitive soul, just wanted to marry and have children and be the best possible wife and all that, and she's trying to recover from this terrible grief, heartache that she experienced at the hands of the cruel royals and of course the equally cruel and vicious British public and press. What does she want from this connection, if she wants anything at all? What's in it for her? And we've got the Queen of Cups in reverse. Ooh, that's quite an interesting card, because Mummy Diana is there. Mummy Diana, Mummy Diana. It might be something, of course, this is a girl that has everything that money can buy, but money can't buy Mummy Diana. And that sort of connection can't buy royal status. It can't make you a duchess. It can't make you the daughter-in-law of Mummy Diana, married to a prince, has been. She wants some of that. Queen of Cups in reverse. She's kind of, because it's in reverse, it tells me it's a little bit getting a bit stalkerish, a bit like Meghan's alleged obsession with Princess Diana, which she has since denied. Well, she denied knowing anything about the royal family, but it's documented, it's quite well documented, that she had all the books when she was a young girl. She read the books, she'd watched the funeral, she'd watched the wedding, all of that stuff. It's a similar kind of a vibe there, that somehow there's something in there for Nicola Peltz. There's also just that maybe there is a real connection, an emotional connection between the two, and that Nicola Peltz is looking at Meghan Markle as a somewhat older woman, almost like a mother figure, like a role model, and thinking, well, this is how you navigated the family feud. Of course, it was never Meghan's fault, just like it's not Nicola Peltz's fault. I'm sure that there's been this level of alienation and headlines in the Daily Mail. So there's also that going on, just by the way. Is there going to be some sort of brand collaboration, some sort of fashion thing or beauty thing or podcast or something? Ooh, I've got the Death card. Death is endings and change and no more of the thing. In reverse, it kind of gives me that they're both stuck in a certain worldview and a certain narrative and a certain perspective. And it might be difficult to actually get anything going between them, because they're both very invested in quite negative things that they need to move on from and let go of. So if there was going to be something between them, that card would rather be upright, shed the past, let go of whatever is holding you back, and move on and reimagine yourselves in a more positive way. This tells me that if there is some kind of collaboration between them, it's going to be rehashing all their grievances, all their woes, all their begrudgement. It's a Scorpio card. Scorpios can get very stuck on grievances and ancient resentments and who did me wrong 1,000 years ago and 25 lives ago sort of things. I speak as a Scorpio, I know. So there it is. I think if there's going to be some sort of collaboration, it probably will be more along the lines of a podcast, even having Nicola Peltz on the podcast. I'm not seeing a launch of something exciting, innovative, groundbreaking, whatever. So if there is, we're talking hypothetically, of course, how would it do if they were to join forces at some level, the two of them? It would be very negatively received. Judgment card in reverse. Judgment upright is, of course, being viewed very well, praised, forgiven, given some sort of opportunity to have another go at something, but in reverse criticized, not forgiven. People would look at it and think, there you two go, banging on about all your troubles. And I'm saying that because of that Nine of Cups in reverse. That's our heart of this reading. that the two of them, if they do something together, I think they're going to get stuck in this lamentation kind of energy instead of doing something much more positive that people can buy into, and people aren't going to like it. They're not going to invest in it. They're not going to buy it. They're not going to want more of it. If it's a one-off, a kind of a chat on a podcast or something, people are going to be very turned off by it. That's interesting. I think this is the most interesting energy that I've got in this reading so far. And it could be like a Netflix special or something like that, because of this waiting energy that's in here and this hope and expectation that there might be TV types, industry types that are saying, get together, do something. We can, the huge name recognition, huge brand recognition, we can really make some big money out of this, because that's all they care about, obviously. Outcome just generally for the two couples of this association, the secret support that we've been hearing about, which is now already being kind of not denied but diminished. First of all, for the Parkles, how's it going to reflect on them? We've got the Four of Swords. It's not going to look good. It's just going to add to their negative reputation. Four of Swords is disappearing, healing, meditating, reflecting, taking time out. In reverse, not doing the things that would help your reputation, doing everything basically to undermine your reputation, staying in the public eye when you should just disappear. So it's really going to backfire on Harry and Meghan. The more that they side with Brooklyn and Nicola, the worse their reputations are going to be as well. And for Brooklyn and Nicola, it's going to look better for them, this connection with Harry and Meghan. I'm getting the sense of that Harry and Meghan are going to look like elders to their mentors even, which is quite weird because we still hear about Harry and Meghan being the young couple. They're not, they're middle-aged. And Brooklyn and Nicola are a young couple. And we've got the Queen of Cups there and now the Knight of Cups here. There's a sense that people are going to look at it and think, well, maybe they are not under the influence of Harry and Meghan, but they're looking up to them. They're looking to them for guidance in this situation, this difficult situation, which of course seems to have been created entirely by Brooklyn and Nicola, in particular Nicola, allegedly. That's how it's reading to me anyway. But they've possibly been guided by Harry and Meghan, and they are more kind of innocent. The Knight of Cups is a sweeter energy. It's a bit gormless. It's trusting people maybe you shouldn't trust, and following advice that maybe is not the best advice to follow. So there we go. Interesting, a little connection that nobody saw coming. Well, I didn't see coming. Strange energy that is around Harry and Meghan at the moment, in my opinion. There it is. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.